No one knew how long Alex stood in front of the mirror before leaving for school. It had nothing to do with fixing his hair. Every morning he asked himself the same question: what will they say today? Because they always found something new. One day his voice, another day his height, or the way he walked. The kids at school always found a reason to laugh. Alex was 14 years old, not too quiet, not too talkative, not very successful, nor a failure. He was somewhere in the middle, but at school, he felt invisible. Or maybe he just wished he could be invisible, because the moment someone noticed him, he became a target. What hurt him wasn't just the words. The looks were just as sharp, especially during recess. At first, it wasn't this intense. A few mocking comments, a couple of jokes. Then it grew worse. One time, they hid his jacket under a desk. Another time, they smeared mud on his backpack. These seemed small from the outside, but they left marks inside. Alex tried to understand. Did I do something wrong? He asked himself. But the more he tried to make sense of it, the more exhausted he felt. He didn't tell anyone at home. Even if he did, what would change? They'd just say, "Don't let it get to you." But how could he not? Sometimes, before falling asleep, he'd whisper a prayer. "God, please, let no one say anything to me tomorrow." One day, there was a class presentation. Alex was sweating as he waited for his turn. It wasn't just speaking in front of the class that scared him. It was the fear of being mocked while doing it. And just as he feared, it happened. A few seconds into his presentation, someone in the back mumbled. Then another laughed. Soon the laughter grew louder. The teacher tried to silence them, but the storm inside Alex didn't calm down. After the presentation, he rushed to the bathroom. He locked himself in a stall and cried silently. Crying wasn't shameful, but hiding while crying, that was a silent scream no one heard. He didn't even look in the mirror this time. His eyes were red. His hands were shaking. The next morning, he didn't want to go to school. He pretended to be sick, held his stomach, said it hurt. His mother looked at him with concern, but didn't insist. Alex spent that day in bed, curtains closed, phone silent. No one heard him that day. But the next day, everything went back to the beginning. Then, one quiet afternoon, something changed. Alex was browsing books on the back shelves of the school library. It was a quiet place. No one really came there. That day, a girl named Sophia walked in. She was quiet too. Their eyes met between the shelves. She handed him a book and softly said, "This one's good." Just a simple sentence, but it was the most normal thing Alex had heard in days. In the days that followed, they both came back to the library. They didn't talk much, but they reached for the same books, sat in the same corner. They built a bond, one that didn't need words. One day, Sophia brought her sketchbook. She showed it to Alex. Faces she had drawn, animals, little stories. Alex picked up a pencil and doodled something on a blank page. For the first time, someone was spending time with him simply for who he was, not for his voice, not his height, not the way he walked, just for being himself. Sophia had started to understand him. She noticed things others didn't, because sometimes the language of silence speaks louder than words. One day during recess, Alex was sitting alone in his usual corner. 3 boys started mocking him again. But this time, Sophia walked over. She didn't say a word. She just sat next to him. In the middle of that crowd, her silence said, "You're not alone." And for Alex, that was the most powerful sentence ever spoken. Over time, things began to change. Alex's posture changed. The questions in the mirror started to fade. He had learned something. Bullying grows in silence, but if someone chooses to stand beside you, that silence slowly begins to dissolve. At the end of the school year, students were preparing best of awards. Funniest, most popular, things like that. On one paper, it said, "Most trustworthy." Underneath was Alex's name. He didn't know who had written it, but someone had started to notice him. It looked like a small piece of paper, but for him, it was a sign of something big. Was the bullying over? Number. But Alex was no longer alone, and sometimes the courage of one person is stronger than a crowd of 100. That's all from Story Kingdom for today. Don't forget to subscribe, because every story is a journey, and this journey is complete with you.